All right, and we are live. So welcome to another episode of AI Marketing for Remodelers and Builders. If you don't know us, I'm Kai. I'm a lead consultant, everything strategy, AI. I'm your guy. And then with me is Spencer, our founder, CEO, big boss, whatever you want to call him. Spencer, I feel like we've had episodes going out, but it's been a couple weeks. We've both been busy since we recorded, so hopefully we're not too rusty, but I feel like this is probably gonna be one of our most fun episodes. So this is gonna be all about how builders and remodelers are actually using AI right now. So for my listeners out there, for my watchers out there, if you listen or watch this episode, you are going to see exactly how your peers in the industry are using AI. And I can't lie, Spencer, there's a lot of cool use cases in here. I'm gonna have to give a hand to my builders and remodelers because we always say how technologically behind this industry is. But I think when we go through some of these use cases, uh, some of these were blowing my mind.
Yeah, I'm excited because I feel like the use cases. One, we're gonna go through the ones that people are actually using, and I think that's the fun part to see those. Is it's kind of like what made it through the clutter to actually. No, I'm actually doing this, and it's actually working. It's actually saving me time. It's whatever the reason is, but I feel like a lot of times you just see stuff and it's like that sounds cool, but I don't really know how I'd apply it. And so I'm excited to dig in today.
1,000%. So before we dive into like the specific use cases, I did want to call out. We've had a couple of people here that either found Builder Funnel through AI. So we just had a call. So this is a mix of, for reference for people watching this episode, a mix of prospects and clients. So we won't use names, but a couple prospects that found us through AI. So ChatGPT, but also like we had a Grok meeting. Somebody found us through Grok. A couple people found us through Claude. So we're definitely all throughout those AI tools, which is great. And then as far as from like the client side, people are definitely seeing more of those like AI referral traffic tick up. I know like we just got done with our Q1 reporting, and a lot of teams are reporting that they're starting to see AI traffic tick up, some more contacts as well as like high quality contacts. So definitely from like an AI search perspective, people are using it. But I want to get into the first like specific use case here. So this is a custom home builder in Miami, Florida. Around 8 million in revenue. So I want to also give some revenue ranges as well, just so you can kind of get an idea of how big these guys are. But so they're using Claude to qualify leads in 5 minutes with a feasibility study. So basically, Claude is helping them give like quick ballpark proposals. It's helping them weed out tire kickers, which I assume they're giving it like a rubric or something to like look through certain points in the call and say like, hey, this probably won't be a good fit. And what this builder does, it feeds Claude pricing, or they feed Claude pricing from like past completed projects, scope of work, and basically Claude gives them a professional document back. So we know Claude can make like really nice branded PDFs and all of that. And so this used to take them 3 to 5 hours. Claude has cut this down to 5 to 10 minutes, which is fantastic.
Wild. Yeah, that's cool. And I mean, we talk about it a lot here in sales. Like speed really matters, and speed wins deals. And so, yeah, I love this use case.
It's pretty dope. And I also pulled a couple of quotes as well. For context as well, I used Claude to go through all of our sales calls from like the past year, maybe a little bit before, to pull out the coolest use cases. So we're actually going to do another episode talking about Claude integrations, which I'm super excited about because that's definitely been one of my favorite use cases. But a couple of quotes here. He said that it's Claude's like so professional. It's like more than like a normal person could like put together in that amount of time, right? 5 to 10 minutes, like all this information packed. And basically he said, I think whoever figures it out first in the luxury space, at least in his area, which he's in Miami, is just going to absolutely kill it. So that's from an 8 million custom home builder is saying that. So I don't know, that's super exciting. That's a bigger player in the space. And he's still saying how much opportunity there is. So if you're a custom home builder out there, remodeler, definitely using AI for like feasibility studies. Claude specifically seems to be working really well.
Yeah, I like this one. I guess one more note on it is just most prospects just want to get to a ballpark price, and so that's like why we do design build is let's do a design pack, but that can take weeks, months, depending on the size of the project, and so like this seems like cool. I'm going to take one part of this initial phase and compress it into a big W for the prospect lightning fast. And then it's like, it raises your level of professionalism. They get some answers quick. Other builders are not getting back to them. It's taking weeks, or they're like, man, I guess I know who I'm going with.
Yeah, and it's exciting too because when you figure that out, then you start talking about like the automation piece to it. So you can start either having it like you can have like these notes in like a folder and then just like daily it checks for like new notes from you, makes those proposals for you, or you can just have it like run on like a trigger. Um, super, super cool. There was another one here that kind of goes off of that that I want to dig into. Because it surprised me like the level that they were using it at. I can't find like the exact. We'll find it when we get to it. But there's one in there where essentially he was using Claude in the same way, but it was referencing like building codes with plans with like his past plans and then putting it all together. And it was like a 40-page document. It was like insane. Actually, I just found it. So this is kind of off the same thing. Second use case here. This is a current client of ours, actually, design build remodeler in Delaware, 11 plus million in revenue. So right now he's paying $500 a month for Claude. I'm assuming he's using like the API and tokens and all of that. He uses it daily for estimating with actual cost codes, and he's getting true Excel sheets back. So Claude has that like direct integration with Excel, can make Word docs, all of that. He also talked about how he had a 100-page insurance exactament estimate for a full tear down rebuild, and he needed it converted into their cost codes to compare like what they were, going over and under in. So that is nuts. So that's a current client of ours, $500 a month, definitely a power user. And the fact that it can like, I was very surprised with how much trust was already there with like the estimating with the cost codes, the 40-page documents, definitely like unheard of in this industry for sure.
Yeah, like his quote, which was, ChatGPT was like, yeah, give me 6 hours, and it didn't produce anything over 2 days, and Claude did it in 40 seconds. And so, yeah, I think we're seeing, I mean, I've been using Claude a lot more instead of ChatGPT. And yeah, it just feels like it's got horsepower. Like it just got some serious horsepower.
Yeah, we'll probably do another episode down the line because I think the whole Claude and Claude versus ChatGPT conversation is like so interesting. Um, I think that Claude's definitely going after more of the power users, people using AI for work, for their business. And it's funny enough because I use Claude a lot, and a lot of like people in the marketing space that I know use Claude. But on the flip side, all my friends are using ChatGPT. It's everybody calls it chat. Everybody is using chat in like a casual way. My girlfriend, her family was just here, and her dad used to be like, Hey Siri," and now he was going, Hey Chat GPT, Hey Chat GPT. So um, that's so interesting that I feel like while a lot of people like in like the work space is shifting to Claude, we're definitely seeing the casual like AI user shift from more of like those like phone like Siri systems and all that, the Google Help system to just using ChatGPT on like a casual basis.
Yeah, it's almost like that's the retail is ChatGPT, and then the investor grade commercial is going Claude.
Exactly. So you'll see though, you never know. I feel like all these AI companies they just take swings at each other, and now with ChatGPT getting this ad revenue from running ads, very curious to see how fast that they move with that like extra income, so extra capital, whatever you want to call it. Couple of other ones here from this design builder modeler in Delaware, who power user in Claude, talked about how he's also trying to buy like a Mac Mini, which is like a standalone computer, to basically have like Claude just like run this itself in the background for like 4 hours a day, just doing tasks without him even asking it. So, for my listeners and watchers out there, if you've heard of OpenClaw, this is like a pretty like this is like the OpenClaw setup where you get the Mac Mini and you put OpenClaw on it. But Perplexity just released their OpenClaw competitor, which is Perplexity Computer. Claude is trying to have Claude Cowork be their OpenClaw competitor. So yeah, Spencer, this is very interesting to me too because I wonder if this is just going to be the new norm now. Because right now I'm like, okay, it's kind of crazy. People are buying, I think it's like a $400-$500 Mac Minis solely just for their AI agents to run on. But at the same time, I said the same thing when they announced the $200 a month and $100 a month subscriptions to AI products, and now that seems like the new normal. It seems like $20 is not giving you enough usage, so most people are on $100 or $200 a month.
Yeah, I mean, I think people that are actually using it, even just I would say a moderate amount, it makes so much sense to jump up to the 2, 3, 4, whatever. You know, it could be $1,000 a month. Once you figure out how to automate a few things, and you're just going, yeah, if this makes me twice as effective, or it makes one of my team members 50% more effective, just nominal movement, it's worth it.
Do you think it'll be the new norm to buy like computers that your AI agents will just run by themselves, or do you think that's an extra step that only real power users are going to be taking?
You know, I don't view myself as like a crazy power user, but I'm also probably in a bubble, so I always think I'm behind, and you know, that sort of thing. But 6, 9 months ago, I was saying, you know, to you and I think Sarah here in the office, I'm like, because we've gone from in office, you know, or to partially in office to pretty much full time remote, and so we still have, you know, like 6 desks and out in the main, you know, area out there. And I was like, I could see us just buying a bunch of computers and just like almost having like one person, and they're just like moving from machine to machine to just make sure it hasn't like stopped, or it hasn't asked a question to keep going. But I know you can just say like keep going until it's, you know, you can do some of that stuff now. So yeah, I mean, will it be the new norm? It'll probably take a little bit of time, but I guess like, yeah, I could see it, you know. That was one of the first places my head went, and I'm not at the forefront of, you know, like all these guys are. So
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I see those pictures all the time over Twitter where people have like 6 Mac Minis or something ridiculous just running
yeah.
in there. One of the guys I follow that like owns an agency, he is big into like OpenClaw, and he has tons of different OpenClaws, and his team talks to them in Slack, which is definitely something like I've been wanting to think about too. But he basically just has like all these different Mac Minis running all these different agents, so definitely be interesting.
Well, the funny thing is, one little side note, we don't want to get too derailed, but it makes me think you really actually need to, it's one thing if you have like recurring stuff and it's just doing something recurring, but if you're working like a big project, I feel like you need to do a little bit more planning, and then you really need to be able to see further out on where you're going, right? Because if you're like, man, I have 6 machines working on this stuff 24/7, it's going to get done with the next part of the project, and then you're like, oh, that's already done, like, and now I need to figure out the next step in this big project. So I think that's an interesting kind of component too, is just like planning far enough ahead that you could have 6 machines working every single day 24/7. It's going to chew through a lot of volume.
Yeah, and again, that'll probably be a future episode as well. But I've been talking a lot. I work very close to my uncle. We meet like weekly. He's really into. I've been teaching him AI and Claude code and all of that for his own business. And yeah, what we've been talking about a lot is how it like shifts the way that you think, and that's kind of something that you touched on, where it's like, yeah, daily now, really, I'm just checking my agent's work, and it feels like if I'm just like working on one thing and just watching it go, I'm like wasting time. Like I'm like, okay, I can have another agent running this. I can have another agent running this. Okay, this one just pinged me that it's done. Let me check its work. Okay, like let me tell it to fix these things. And so I think, yeah, I've been kind of playing around with this idea of like how multitasking has like really changed, because humans like we're not built to multitask. But it doesn't even feel that way anymore. It feels like you just have a team under you that's working on these things, and you're really just checking work. And so, yeah, we talk about like running like 6 machines at that point. That's when you start thinking in systems. You start thinking like way far ahead. And then, but once you have the system, it's just really just checking the work of the agents, making sure it's good. You give it the last review, and then you send it off. But a lot of that like actual work there is being done by the agents. And then you talk about having 6 of them running, 6x the productivity. It starts getting crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll save it for the next episode.
For sure. All right, so next use case here, we're going to go with another custom home builder in the PNW. They're in the 8 to 12 million revenue range. So basically they had Claude design their entire website mockup. By the way, I didn't even like mean to have all of these be Claude specific. These are just that's just what people are using. But they had Claude design their entire website mockup. So they fed Claude their brand preferences and basically just told it to create a website for us. And then Claude built this for them and says, hey, just give it to your developer to implement on the back end. And I think it was this was a prospect, and she was talking about like her boss was like, this is wild. So I'm pretty sure she was like the marketing contact. And she even said like, it's just crazy what AI can do. It feels like I'm cheating. And funny enough, they also found Builder Funnel through Claude, not Google. Um, and so it was that's I think that's also been a big unlock. We just did like a little like vibe coding happy hour with the Builder Funnel team. But it's something as like 2, 3 years ago, like building a website was like a huge thing. And like I'm not saying AI could do it better or anything, but just the fact you can get like mockups really easily, or like the big one that I've seen, Spencer, is like teams that like that work in like product are able to like create like mockups so that they can give to like the engineering team and better like explain like, hey, here's like what I want this to look like, here's what I want it to do. So I thought this was super cool.
Yeah, this is a cool one. I mean, especially if you're kind of an idea, you have something in your head and you're like, I want it to kind of look like this. And it's like, how long is that going to take to kind of do that? Now it makes some of this stuff more worth it. Like, let me do 5 mockups real quick because it's like, yeah, it will be real quick versus like, give me a few weeks. Let me do like 5 or 7 mockups and we'll kind of go from there. So yeah, just speed again.
Yeah, and I think like going off of this, I've really been experimenting using Claude to build custom HubSpot modules, and that's been like when you talk about making those different variations, it's been so easy just to be like, instead of going back and forth with our developer to make a custom module, and I'm like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try this, I want to try this. I'm like, okay, that's a lot of back and forth, like a lot of back and forth, a lot of work for them. I say, hey, what would this look like with like this functionality? What would this look like with a hover? What would it look like with the scroll? What if we made the font bigger? Like, what if we made like a drop down here? What if we had like different sections? Um, and it's just it's so fast and it's so easy. And then I can give that module and then give it to our developers to essentially just clean up the styling, like debloat the code, because AI can like have crazy code that you can definitely clean up. But that's been a massive unlock. And now we're in the stage where we can start shipping that to the rest of the team to make their own modules. I told you I'm a little worried about the HubSpot marketplace people that make their money, because I'm like, well, I feel like now any module that we want, we just build it ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, there's a lot of areas that are they're gonna get crunched real quick and it doesn't mean they can't pivot, but yeah, every day that goes by, you see something like this where you're like, oh, we can just do it ourselves now, do it ourselves now.
Exactly. Another one, another Claude one. I even when doing this, I didn't realize they were pretty much all Claude. Um, so this is a remodeler in the Northeast. They're near Boston, about 3 million revenue. So they are using Claude to basically build his entire business operating system. So Claude is mapping out like every stage of the business, creating playbooks, processes for everything. And the ultimate goal is for Claude to systemize the business so that he can sell it. And he also found Builder Funnel through Claude. So yeah, it's a couple quotes here. Is he just said, he's like, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about how to improve and basically create an operating system for my business. The more valuable I am to my business, the less valuable my business is, which is what really prompted him to like want to use Claude to better systemize things. Um, yeah, that is and last one here for his quotes. He just said, I'm really just following my AI overlord. And this is like basically AI recommended that Builder Funnel could help him scale. And so he said, I'm following my AI overlord and setting a meeting with you. But this is so I would say like this is around like average client revenue for us, around like that 3-ish million, 3 to 5 mil ish or so. Um, but this is like gold. I mean, this is where AI can really help. If you feed it all the information, it's so good at helping you not get stuck, helping you think of different ideas, as well as like it makes it really easy to systemize and make processes, because you could just kind of word dump to it. You can record a video and send the transcript, and it can like take all of that and make that into like a playbook or a system for you.
Yeah, yeah, and I like this too. I mean, this is the classic like key man risk, like the business crumbles if it doesn't have the founder, and so this is a cool use case because a lot of times, at least in my experience, like writing out systems and processes is just like, I would do anything else other than just like type out the steps of this task. And so it's nice to be able to have Claude be able to spit it all out and you can just describe something or upload a few docs or whatever it is. And so yeah, it helps kind of get that inertia, going where, yeah, anyway, I really like this one. It's super nice, use case and, you button up the business a little bit, with all those things documented.
For sure. Next one here. This one I'm really excited for. So this is a luxury remodeler in like the Portland, Vancouver, Washington area. and basically he built his own AI powered lead prospecting system. So have you heard of Clay before? Do you know what Clay is?
Yeah, Ethan dropped a Slack about it, and I haven't dug into it too much, but it's on my list.
Yeah, it's yeah, so essentially like it's a I'm trying to figure out like the best way to describe it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to ask Perplexity real quick. So I want you to from my understanding, I know we don't really you use it more for like B2B prospecting. So like it helps like it basically takes a ton of different data from like lots of different directories. And if you're like a B2B SaaS or whatever, that gives you like your sales guys like cold outreach opportunities. But I'm gonna say describe Clay in one sentence. Okay. And let's see what it does here. But while there we go. So, okay, this is where it's important with AI. It's describing the fine grained natural earth material. So
We
I
should have seen
mean
that coming.
data
Why
prospector
wasn't it
tool.
listening to us and understanding what
Come
it's
on,
doing?
Perplexity. Um, so yeah, it's a B2B prospecting platform. So it helps find and verify leads. And it basically helps give like a large contact database. It can enrich profiles, so like it can like have their website there, their phone number, those things that like might be like scattered all across the web. It aggregates it into one place essentially. Um, so this prospect basically Clay connected to I don't think he specifically says what he's working with, but Clay's connected. It pulls 12 to 20 data points per address to find people actively in the market or about to be in the market for a luxury remodel, which is pretty cool. And so and he didn't really go into detail if he like reaches out to those people or if he like sends mailers or something, but we've seen stuff like that. Like I know there was another company out there, I forgot their name, um, but they had a tool like where it pulled like permits, and so you could see like permits that were like 10 years old, and you can kind of like look and say, okay, if they have a 10 or 15-year-old permit, that's probably the last time they did a remodel, so we could probably send a mailer. So kind of something similar to that. Um, and then he also built a custom AI image generation for his website. Um, he built a medical diagnostic AI and this looks like just like on the side as well. So some sort of like AI medical diagnostic thing. Maybe I know a lot of people have been feeding like their own like medical records in there and trying to like get a diagnostic what's going on with them. So kind of all over the place, but like super cool, really into it. And basically a couple quotes here. He said, I've worked with AI intense, probably on average 8 to 10 hours a day for the last 3 years, just developing. And basically, he also says, I would never use AI for anything unless I built it myself, which is why he's building all these different tools. So he's in the camp where he just wants to build it himself. Um, but yeah, he's used ChatGPT to write blogs and definitely an extreme power user. He didn't say how much he was spending, but 8 to 10 hours a day for the last 3 years developing, wants to build his own tools. Probably a good amount of token usage there.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely seems like he's got some sort of engineering background too, because if he's been doing that for 3 years, the AI wasn't as user friendly as it is today. So yeah, kind of interesting. But yeah, I think we'll have more to talk about with Clay over the coming months too.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some opportunities for us to possibly use it, and also direct integration with Claude, so it makes it easy to test. I think that was there's one more I want to go over that I think we'll wrap here. And this is to take it back. I know we talked a lot about the power users, but there were still plenty of people there um, that talked about just wanting to get like a chatbot on their site. We saw like a $3 million custom home builder. They just closed a custom home project from somebody that found them through ChatGPT. Um, there's also we just had like a custom home builder that's like under 1 million, aiming for like 2 million. And basically they're going to use AI tools to like, help like build like lead magnets, like help him clean up his email list. So there's definitely like non like super power user use cases in there as well. But I think that's where we'll stop, Spencer. Probably do another episode like this like next quarter when we get even more insights. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think about these use cases? Did you feel like it was like more advanced than you thought? Did you feel like this is like right on par? I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think I was impressed with some of these use cases for sure, especially on the front end. I know that estimating feasibility All of these types of things, they can be pretty nuanced, detail oriented, pretty tedious, time consuming. So yeah, I love that. I think there's probably a handful of opportunities in that space. But I also like that people are thinking about it on the design side. I think that applies across a lot. Like it's websites, it's social media content, but it's also like mock-ups for the remodel, mock-up for the custom home, like giving prospects like a way to visualize their remodel or their project. And I think there's a lot, that opens the door to a lot of different things. So it's fun to see these use cases. I think they're just going to ripple and multiply as we move along. These were definitely some I expected, and then some were like, oh, that's cool. People are really trying to push the envelope a little more here, which is awesome. Like we need to do it.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed when looking at these. Nothing wrong with just wanting like the chatbot or using AI to like vibe code, like a lead magnet or something like that. Those are our main recommendations. Um, but definitely some advanced users in there. Building, like his own prospecting system was crazy. I think my favorite one had to be the $11 million design builder modeler who's paying $500 a month for Claude, and it's like doing like actual like costs based on cost codes and all of that. But also the first one, the custom home builder, 8 million revenue from Miami,
Yes.
taking a 3 to 5 hour process and turning that into 5 to 10 minutes
Yes.
for those proposals is awesome too.
Yeah, yeah, that first one was one of my favorites because I think it super applies to most people, and it's probably pretty reasonable to get some version of that going for your business.
Alrighty, Spencer. It is our favorite time of every pod. It is the PU out. If you know, you know, our parting words of wisdom. If there is one thing that somebody should remember from this episode, what should it be?
I think it's look at all the use cases. So you used Claude to pull all of this from probably hundreds of calls, definitely dozens and dozens, and like a lot. And the use cases that came out as well. Now that I've said it out loud, I'm catching myself. So you'll have to, but as you noted as we are going through it, almost all of these examples were Claude. And so my parting words of wisdom is gonna be like, you should check out Claude. It's got a lot of power. But now that I'm saying that, I wonder if Claude was looking for Claude use cases instead of ChatGPT. But either way, I know
Be smart.
you're really pro Claude right now, and for business applications, it feels like it does have that extra horsepower or clarity or clearness or concise or whatever it is. It's I mean, I've used it and it's just an obvious difference, and I don't know that I can quite put my finger on it other than it's just like the output's better, it moves faster. So yeah, I would say if you haven't checked out Claude, that's my parting words of wisdom. Like, do that this week, and I think you'll like it.
Yeah, again, we'll probably do a separate episode on it. But it does really seem like ChatGPT is going more towards the casual and Claude's going more towards like the business. And, for our use case, what we're talking about is business, and that's why I think a lot of people are leaning towards Claude. Would not be surprised though if ChatGPT wants to get back into this race. I know their recent model wasn't too bad. But yeah, there's just something that's so accurate about Claude that has just been really surprising, and the lack of hallucinations and making up data has just been very nice compared to when I felt like I used ChatGPT. I literally just got a message about it from one of our team members where he's just like, I hate using Chat. I gotta switch. Like, I'm just so done with this right now. Like, I used Claude once, and it's like I don't have to deal with this. So, yeah, we'll definitely we'll see what ChatGPT does. I'd say my PWOW is gonna be mine was actually also gonna be to check out Claude. But I would say just keep being curious. I think when you check out Claude, just ask what's possible. And hopefully these use cases kind of like unlock some things for you. And the great part is, you can just have this run. And if you don't like it, you don't have to use it. That's the great part of like having these agents do the work. You can kind of see it, you can tweak it, or you can just throw it away. And you know for sure you don't want to do it that way. But there's definitely some big players in the space that are 8 million plus revenue, 11 million plus revenue, and obviously like even bigger players in the space, right, that we just haven't had calls with that are using it in this way. So usually how it goes is, if you see like mid-sized players doing this, large-sized players are, they have more horsepower, they have more people, and they might even be doing more. So I don't say that for you to feel like you're behind, but you can push what's possible. I think it's pretty comfortable to say that just using AI to write emails and blog content is kind of the expectation now, and that's still great, and that's still a good use case. There's a lot more out there that I want you to explore if you haven't.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, be curious, keep being curious. I think
Be
that's good
curious.
advice.
Be curious. That has been today's episode, and we will see y'all. Oh, wait, I didn't even do my whole outro. If you have any questions, feedback, see, it's been a couple weeks. We're a little rusty, Spencer. If you have any feedback, questions, anything like that, feel free to email me. It's KB as in boy, IAMI at builderfunnel.com. Again, that's KBIAMI at builderfunnel.com. I want you to email me what you're going to be curious about in Q2. We just started Q2 here. But yeah, send me that email. I'm really curious to see what people say. And if you have specific use cases that you feel like, you're like, hey, mine's super cool, I want to share that with Kai, email me that. I'll shout you on the next episode as well. But now, Spencer, we can say that has been this episode, and we will see y'all on the next one.